What's going on? Welcome. I hope you're doing great. It's been a while, and the reason for that is I haven't touched my MPC or any of my samplers for that matter since I did my last video in over a year. And this is coming from a person who solely made sample-based music for over a decade. It was my main source of creativity and I was making beats on a daily basis. That being said, even though I haven't touched one of my samplers, I still have been making as much music as I ever have. So you might think something drastic happened that caused me to completely stop sampling for the time being. So what I want to do is run through why I'm not making sample beats right now, why I started sampling, and what caused this shift in my music making and the type of music I'm making. So one day I'm sitting on the couch in my living room, watching TV. My life's passing me by.
You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life's passing you by.
And while I'm just sitting there, notification comes up on my phone. Instagram. Just Blaze is going live on Instagram. Just Blaze being one of my absolute favorite producers of all time, top 3, if not 1 for me. I'm watching it. So I stop what I'm doing, turn off the TV, tune into the Instagram live. What it ends up being is Just Blaze going through his computer, playing unreleased songs. So I'm pumped. I'm thinking there's gonna be some unheard J verses on here, unheard beats that he's made for other artists, and the song just never panned out. But the most shocking part of the Instagram live is I'm watching and he says this: no samples. As the saxophone solo's going, as the keys are ringing out, he says, no samples, this is all me. He had some people performing on it, but he composed the music, came up with it from scratch, and it was things that he had completely composed. And when I saw that, like I said, one of my favorite producers of all time, if not my favorite producer, who I've always looked up to as a beat maker, as a sampler, and someone who I tried to model my music after to some degree, knowing that I would never be as good as Just Blaze, but he was a huge inspiration and still is to this day for me. And what that video made me face was what I always had in the back of my head, which was, am I really making the music that I want to be making? And the music that's always inspired me to create, even when beat making, was the music of the Curtis Mayfields, the Morricones, the Sakamotos, the Robinsons, etc., etc. And do I think I could ever make the music that could be mentioned in the same sentence as those people? Absolutely not. But now, rather than sampling that music that I love, I really want to try to emulate that style that I listen to and collect on a regular basis and have for a long time. Because just to go back into why I started sampling in the first place, I think for a lot of producers, sampling is a great gateway into discovering old music, because so much of beat making is based on soul music, jazz, library music, a lot of different older styles of music. For me, that was almost the other way around. I fell in love with old records. I started record collecting before I ever started making beats because I just loved that style of music and still do to this day. When I'm listening to music, that's what I'm listening to. So I fell in love with the soul, jazz, the soundtracks. I fell in love with all those things first, and then in order to feel connected with that music, I started sampling it and making beats. I felt like this always forced me to compare the music I was making to the music I was sampling though. And to be honest, the things that I would come up with I would 99 times out of 100, 999 times out of 1,000, I would like the original music more, and I would always feel like I was comparing. And there was no comparison because the music I was sampling was the music I really loved, and I could never come up with something that used that could add anything. That was what was in my mind. And like I said, I've been sampling music for over a decade and I love it. I'm a huge advocate of sampling, and I think it's one of the best art forms that there is in music. That's why sample-based music is still among the most popular in the world. It's still a huge basis of hip-hop, and it changed music forever for the better. But for me personally, as someone who is making music, seeing the Just Blaze 70s library music, that was what I really wanted to be making, but I never felt like that was possible with my situation. There was the boundaries of, I don't have the money for all of the vintage gear. I don't have the time to learn piano. I don't have the time to properly mic up drums, etc., etc., etc. So these are the barriers, whether I've put them up myself or they're legitimate, because I think it is legitimate. When you see someone like Just Blaze, obviously very successful in music, as a career musician, he has the means and the time to invest in all of these things. But it also got me thinking about, what do I have right now? What can I do right now to make this music that currently is really inspiring me, and honestly just music that I've always wanted to create. And so for the last couple of months, that's exactly what I've been doing. In terms of where I go from here, I still think that there are some of those barriers that I don't want to say are hindering me, but that I feel like I want to, in the long term, try to push through. I'm relying a lot on my computer right now, using VSTs. I would love to incorporate vintage gear more into my music making. I need to continue to improve as a live musician on the piano, on the guitar, bass, all those things. I want to keep trying to expand my knowledge on those to continue to get better and expand my ability to compose pieces as well. But the one thing that I would implore you to do as well is really think about if there are things in your music making that you would like to change, that you wish you could do, but right now you feel like isn't really attainable, and really try to identify what those barriers are. You may not be able to solve for all of those right now, but what are the small steps that you can take to really get your music to the place where you're proud of it, you're making the music you want to be making every day, and it's as fulfilling as it can be for you. So obviously this is a pretty big change from what I've done on this channel previously, but I'm really excited with the things that are going to be coming out. I'd love to know in the comments if anyone has similar experiences on changing styles of music, changing their workflow in a drastic way, and what really inspired that for you. And honestly, as much as I feel reinvigorated with the inspirations that I've had in making music lately, I honestly feel the same way about videos. I'm really looking forward to sharing anything I can learn on the composition aspects of songs that I'm making and my studio, and the learnings I'm getting about mixing and just finishing my songs, as well as just talk about the music that really inspires me and music that I think has had a really big influence on beat making. But all in all, I'm really excited to be back. And for those of you who reached out since my last video went up, just to kind of check in, see if more videos were coming out, I really appreciate it. I can't say thank you enough. If you liked the video, consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Peace.